interest litigation seeking the quashing of the TDS system has been filed before the Supreme Court. The government is unfairly shifting its responsibility of tax collection onto private citizens. Ashmit joins us now with more details. Ashmit, what does this PIL argue about TDS?
Well, an interesting question before the top court of the country by way of a PIL. The PIL is seeking the striking down of the entire TDS system, the entire TDS mechanism. The TDS, or the tax deducted at source mechanism, kicks in at the time of, say, salary payments, interest income, dividend income, even rental income. This entire system is something that this PIL is questioning, is seeking Supreme Court's intervention to strike it down entirely. The PIL calls it irrational, calls it arbitrary, and calls it to be in violation of fundamental rights. And why is this argument being made? Well, there are three key submissions that this PIL makes. Number one, the first argument is that this is the computation and collection of taxes is a sovereign function to be performed by the centre. Essentially, the PIL is asking the question that if it's the centre's job, why is this burden being cast on private citizens to compute and then to collect the tax? The PIL says that there is no shortage of manpower or resources. The Indian government has a dedicated tax department, and therefore this is a function that they should be doing. The second key question that has been raised is that in case of an error in computation of TDS, private citizens could face penalties. They could also face imprisonment. This has again been questioned in the PIL. The PIL argues that why is such action being taken against private citizens when no disciplinary action is taken against assessing officers of the Indian Tax Department? And finally, the third key argument is that this entire system is excessively technical. It places an undue burden on economically backward sections of the population and therefore is tantamount to an indirect tax and needs to be dispensed with. So arguments being placed before the Apex Court. Supreme Court is yet to have a formal hearing.
Ashmit, many thanks. And before we wrap, former